All right, today we're going to talk about maximizing rebookings. The truth is, rebooking is where the real money and the momentum is made. It really is. If you can master rebooking and turn one talk into a tour or turn one talk into an annual event, next thing you know, you got a calendar full of clients that are past clients that are just repeat clients. So in this video, I'm going to break down the exact process that I use for maximizing rebookings. And this is the same system that I've used to rebook hundreds of schools year after year after year. Number one, you have to position yourself as an annual speaker, like someone who is not just here for a day. I put this into my branding, into my messaging. We're not here for a moment. We're here for a movement. Like it's a part of the DNA of the Culture Shift Tour and what we do. So the best way to do this is to position yourself as an annual speaker, or you have a package that has multiple parts or steps and levels. And so when you go speak, it's not just over when it's over. They're thinking, all right, let's move on to the next step or to the next level. And you just let your clients know this up front. I can't tell you how many things can be avoided, how much misrepresentation could be avoided, or how much guesswork could be avoided if you just were straight up with your clients and you were literally from the gate like, hey, I'm not trying to be a one-off speaker that comes in for 45 minutes, talks about action, and doesn't take any action with your students. I want to be a part of the culture. I want to be a part of what you're doing. I want to team up long term. I do this all the time. I do this with people that I'm working with on other projects. It's like, hey, from the beginning, I don't want to just write this book with you. I want to write several books with you down the line. I want to build a relationship with you. I want to do this, this, and this. I'm always giving people the long-term play. And you should too. As soon as you get on a call with a prospect or you're talking to a potential client, let them know from the beginning that you want to build a long-term relationship and you have bigger goals than just a keynote. Say things like, why don't we do this every year? You know, you get a new group of students every single year, new incoming freshmen every single year. This saves you from having to find more speakers. If I do a good job and you like what I do and I like what you stand for, you like what I stand for, it's your message, my message together to your kids. Like, why don't we just do this every year for incoming freshmen or outgoing seniors or whatever, you know? Like, let's do this every year. And they're just like, most of the time, they're just like, yeah, I mean, honestly, I never thought about that. It takes a lot of weight off of their plate. If they trust you and you do a good job, there's no reason you shouldn't be going year after year after year. Now, sometimes they'll say, Jared, we'll have you every 2 years or every 3 years because, you know, sometimes we need a female speaker. Sometimes we need a speaker from a different background than you. And most of the time, they're like, do you know any speakers like that? And I'm the one giving them referrals. I build a relationship with them and they come to me for their needs. If you build the relationship right, if they go with somebody else, it'll feel like cheating on you. Schools, colleges, universities, they love predictability. If you set the expectation early, you become safe and the easy choice year after year after year. Number two, capture feedback from students to create rebooking leverage. Sometimes the students come and they comment on an Instagram or a TikTok video after you speak. You need to screenshot that, put it into a Canva doc, make it nice and pretty, send it to the decision maker. Sometimes they DM you, send it to the decision maker. Sometimes when you're there, when you're live, they come up afterwards and they're talking to you. What I personally do is I find the decision maker before I get off stage and I haul butt over to stand by them. So that way when all the kids come to me to tell me how amazing it was or ask me to sign their shoes or their folders or whatever, the decision maker gets to see the impact. Kids are saying things like, I thought this was going to be boring and it was amazing, or this was so much better than the speaker we had last year. And the decision makers hearing all of this. And then they remember, oh, this could be a yearly thing. And I always do this. I'm standing by the decision maker. A student says, hey, man, thank you for coming. It was amazing. You know, changed my life, blah, 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 changed my perspective. I can't thank you enough. And I always say this. I always say, see that person right there? See your principal right here, whoever it is standing there, decision maker? I'm here because of them. And they're like, oh, well, thank you, Mrs. So-and-so. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I pass all the glory on to the decision maker. They are the hero. This is a huge strategy that most speakers never use. You don't even really think about it, right? You just get done with your presentation and some of them just peace out. No, stick around, talk to the students, talk to the staff, get some feedback, help them. Further help them. You know, this is why I went back to school to get a degree for counseling, so that way I could stay afterwards and talk with students one-on-one that need my help. So I stay for hours after presentations, hours. And I promise you that's why I get rebooked. Even in the beginning when I was a kid that was just speaking and I wasn't the smartest person in the room, and I really wasn't. I just cared more. And that was my line. I used to say it all the time. You can find somebody that knows more than me. And that's true for you too. You can always find somebody who knows more. But I say I challenge you to find somebody who cares more. I stay after hours. I've stayed after school 2+ hours before where buses already left. Even the principal's like, I gotta go. And I'm still standing outside talking to students. I will stay until every single student that needs to talk gets to talk. And that's why schools bring me back. When you show them the student impact and you give them a clear path to move forward with you, they'll rebook you. So you get all these comments together, you get the pictures, you send it over to the educator, to the coordinator, whoever booked you, and you send them a quick message and you say something like this. Hey, I'd love to come back next year and continue this momentum. Let's lock in a date early so you guys don't have to scramble later. Or let's have a follow-up meeting in a few months to talk about, logistics of when we can make that happen. Number 3, keep a rebooking calendar. Different schools and campuses book at different times of the year, and you need to understand when that is. Some schools book August, September. They always have a back to school speaker. And that's all they do. Some schools, that's all they do. So if you're reaching out to them in November, they're just like, we already had our speaker this year. And they're not going to book for next semester. They do one speaker a year, and it's in August, September. And if you know that and you put them on the calendar, then you know to reach out to them in March or May. Like, some are in January and February. Some of them always do after Christmas break. Some of them always do right before graduation. Some of them always do right before testing. You just need to understand when you have conversations with people and you gather this data, put it into a calendar, set reminders. And this is a money printer right here. Create a spreadsheet, create, a CRM tag for these people. This is a fall booking person, a spring booking person. These people have annual events for their student council every summer. And that once you understand that, don't just rely on your human memory to remember that. Put it into a calendar, put it into your CRM, know exactly when they book. When you know exactly when a school typically books, your follow-up will always seem perfectly timed to them. This little tweak alone could add tens of thousands of dollars to your year. All right, moving on. Number 4, stay in their orbit, stay top of mind. Decision makers forget. They're busy. They're overwhelmed. So if you do not stay in their orbit and keep touching base with them, someone else will. And whoever is the most consistent over a long period of time is going to win. Whoever is on their mind when the budget comes in is going to win. That's the truth. Touches are very essential. Send a quick newsletter. Drop a postcard, mail a handwritten card, email them a short story or an update. Anytime something amazing happens at a school or you have a cool student story or testimonial, send it to them. You don't have to pitch them every single time. You just need them to say, oh yeah, Jared's still doing good stuff. Maybe we should bring him in. Just the other day, McKinsey reached out to an Oklahoma school that was interested in booking us, and they asked for testimonials from other Oklahoma schools. So we went through all our Oklahoma schools that we've been to in the past, and we asked if they would send a testimonial if we could use them as a reference. One of them hit us back and was like, hey, yeah, we'll do that. But also, is Jared available in the spring? So we just touched base with them, asked them for something else. We weren't selling them. And they're like, yeah, we'll do that. But also we want to bring you back. So just staying on top of their mind, staying visible, that's what keeps you booked. Number 5, teach clients to think of you. This is important. Most speakers don't talk about it, but you have to teach people how to give you money. You do. Not in a pushy way, but in a clarity way. Because most coordinators are not thinking about next year yet. They're thinking about right now. They're not trying to ignore you. They're just busy, right? So you have to guide them. You have to say things like, hey, you'll have a new group of students next year. Just reminding them that. Duh, they know that. But just remind them, hey, you'll have a new group of students next year. I'd love to serve them the same way that I served your students this year. Let's secure a date now before the calendar gets full, before testing, before things get busy and the schedule gets tight. Oh, okay, simplicity sells. Don't overthink these things. They love when you make it easy. Their job is very hard. All right, number 6, the sum to my framework. Here's the mindset shift. You want to go from the speaker they hired once to being my speaker that we bring every year. That's what you want your clients to say about you. Not just, oh, yeah, we had him one time. You want them to say, yeah, that's our speaker. We have him all the time, every year. So how do you do that? You do that by adding personal touches, building loyalty, sending the thank you notes, sending the gifts, sending the handwritten cards after the event, sending a recap video, sending a check-in with them, just being a person, actually being their friends. That's what this really comes down to, actually building a relationship. The small touches create a huge wave of impact. Small touches create emotional attachment is what it does. And when coordinators feel like they're connected to you, they won't shop around anymore. Like I said, they'll think that they're cheating on you if they look for somebody else. They will just rehire you because they want to see you. They want to talk to you. They want to take this relationship to the next level. All right, the final message for this video is that rebookings aren't luck. They're built on your impact, your follow-up, your relationships, your timing, and the experience that you deliver. If you do that right, every gig becomes a pipeline. Every gig leads to more opportunities. This is how speakers build 6-7-figure calendars without chasing new clients every single month. This is how I've done it, and this is how I think you should do it too. So as you watch the rest of this course, remember, take notes and take action, and I'll see you in the next video.